Hello there, my name is Pavor Stelmo and now we'll unveil the top news of recent days. Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said that the promise of Ukraine's accession to NATO must be fulfilled. In an interview with CNN, he said that Ukrainians cannot wait another 75 years for this. The foreign minister stressed that Ukraine sees very encouraging signals at all levels about the irreversibility of the past membership in the alliance. He stressed that Ukraine's entry into NATO should take place faster. In addition, Kuleba gave the reason for his position. According to him, joining NATO is the only way to ensure strategic security and stability in the Euro-Atlantic region. At the same time, the new NATO structure, which will coordinate the supply of weapons and training of the Ukrainian armed forces from Wiesbaden in Germany, has begun its work. This is reported by the DPA agency. Alliance representatives told the agency about the formal start of the new mission on the sidelines of the NATO summit in Washington. In reality, however, the Supreme Commander of NATO forces in Europe will probably need several more months before he can shape the command in such a way that it can take on all the planned tasks. Until then, coordination tasks will continue to be carried out by American forces. In addition to the NATO headquarters in Wiesbaden, the new structure will also have branches in Poland, Romania and Slovakia, as well as a group in Belgium, where NATO's Supreme Commander for Europe, Christopher Cavoli, is based. NATO heads of state and government decided to launch the mission at the Washington summit. NATO explained that the new aid and training structure for Ukraine does not replace the contact group on defense of Ukraine, Rammstein. But former NATO Secretary General Anders Rasmussen said that the alliance summit in Washington disappointed him on the biggest strategic issue, Ukraine's membership.
Despite promises that Ukraine's Euro-Atlantic integration is irreversible, Ukraine remains stuck in NATO's waiting room. The only way of showing Vladimir Putin that our commitment is truly irreversible is by opening accession talks with Ukraine to join the alliance. Leaders should have taken that bold step in Washington. Instead, they leave a shadow of doubt that Putin will continue to exploit. Anders Rasmussen, Secretary General of NATO 2009-2014, on social network X.
At the same time, the Ukrainian Deputy Prime Minister for European and Euro-Atlantic integration, Olga Stefanishyna, said that the invitation for Ukraine to join NATO remains on the agenda of the alliance and can be given at any time. She wrote about this in a column for NV dedicated to the results of the Washington NATO summit. Stefanishyna reminded that in the communique of the summit, the allies clearly stated that the path to NATO for Ukraine is, I quote, irreversible. At the same time, she noted that the negotiations regarding this wording were not easy. However, the summit did not dare to invite Ukraine to join the alliance, since there is no corresponding consensus among the states. Western special services reviewed plans developed by Russia for murder, arson and other sabotage in Europe against companies and people connected with the support of the Ukrainian military, which included the CEO of the arms concern Rheinmetall, Armin Peppenger. This was reported by the AP agency by a Western official on conditions of anonymity. According to the AP source, Russia's plans included recruiting criminals in other countries to carry out attacks. He specified that one such plan was directed against Peppenger. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg also confirmed that the alliance has identified a large-scale coordinated hybrid campaign launched by Russia simultaneously against a number of alliance members. These included recent fires at industrial and commercial facilities in Lithuania, Poland, Great Britain, Germany and other countries, as well as migration pressure inspired by Minsk and Moscow. In April, German authorities arrested 2 citizens of Russian-German origin on suspicion of preparing sabotage attacks, including on U.S. military facilities, with the aim of undermining military support for Ukraine. Earlier, it was reported that Germany provided the highest level of protection to the CEO of the Rheinmetall concern, Armin Peppenger, after it became known about Russia's attempt to eliminate him. These attempts were part of Russia's plans to assassinate defense industry executives across Europe who supported Ukraine's war effort, CNN reports. Rheinmetall is one of the world's largest producers of artillery and tank shells. Did not directly confirm the information, but said in a statement that it was taking the necessary measures to guarantee safety after regular consultations with security authorities. In May 2023, Rheinmetall created a joint venture with the Ukrainian state conglomerate Ukroboronprom for the construction and repair of tanks in Ukraine. After that, former Russian President Medvedev said that Russia would retaliate by striking any Rheinmetall facility built in Ukraine. The Washington Post, citing Kremlin documents obtained by European intelligence, said Russia was making significant efforts to find people, to recruit them for sabotage. Documents show that in July 2023, Kremlin political technologists examined the Facebook profiles of more than 1,200 people they believed to be employees of two major German factories, Aurubis and BASF, to identify employees who could be manipulated to cause unrest, the documents show. The other day, during the NATO summit, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that NATO is preparing plans and programs to counter hybrid threats from Russia and other countries. It seems that Europe is waking up, and the Kremlin is not very happy about it. Today, Ukraine celebrates the Statehood Day. This holiday is intended to remind everyone that Ukrainian statehood actually has more than a 1,000-year tradition. On this day, when Orthodox Christians celebrate the day of equal to the Apostles Prince Volodymyr of Kiev, not Vladimir like Putin, but Volodymyr like Volodymyr Zelensky. The Russians are trying to steal our history again. Well, naming Russia in honor of the Kievan Rus might ring some bells, but the truth is that the state of Russia was called Moscow, before Peter the Great decided to rename it to Russia. So history shows that the brave descendants of Kievan Rus were Ukrainians, not Moscow people, for some reason. In the year of 988, the adoption of Christianity became a civilizational choice that determined the European path of Ukraine's future development. Christianity contributed to the rise of culture and education and gave impetus to the development of the Cyrillic script. Kievan Rus successfully joined the pan-European cultural and religious space. Its statehood traditions were continued in particular by the Principality of Galicia-Volhynia, the Ukrainian Cossack state, the Ukrainian People's Republic, the West Ukrainian People Republic, and the Ukrainian state of Hetman Pavlo Skoropadsky, Carpathian Ukraine, and modern independent state of Ukraine. This state and statehood are inseparable, like a tree and its roots.
Українці, українки, я дякую вам.
Ukrainians, I thank you for being true to yourselves, to our goal, to our state, to our values which will undoubtedly endure as they are already rooted in centuries. They have their roots in Kievan Rus, continuation in the Cossack state, and they are living force today, the force of Ukraine, which is doing the greatest and most important things in its history. This is Ukraine, which not only defends itself, but also unites many others in the defense of life, which is proud of its people and whose heroism is honored by the world. This is Ukraine, whose flag, our cherished blue and yellow colors, is welcome wherever courage is truly valued, and our trident, our majestic emblem inherited from ancient princes, is seen on chevrons, T-shirts, and even as tattoos. There are as the symbols by which we recognize our fellow Ukrainians anywhere, and these are the emotions that unite us when we hear the sound of Ukraine. And these are our achievements, which were not given by anyone, but brought by all of us for Ukraine. All this is our country.
History gives society an awareness of the connection between generations and the construction of a common past. Attempts to deny Ukrainian history or to appropriate Ukrainian historical heritage by Moscow are just as ill and useless against historical facts as modern fakes of Russian propaganda. During the centuries of historical development, Ukraine has lost and regained its statehood many times. Thus, Ukrainians have a huge experience of the liberation struggle, which inspires and motivates our soldiers on the battlefield today. The day of the Ukrainian statehood was introduced to confirm the continuity of more than a 1,000-year history of Ukrainian statehood, as well as to counter Russian disinformation and historical fakes about the supposedly unity of the origin of Ukrainian and Russian peoples. The history of Ukrainian state formation is evidenced by the first mentions of the foundation of the capital of the ancient Rus, the city of Kiev, and events related to the activities of Volodymyr, Grand Duke of Kiev. That concludes our today's video. Thank you for watching. Stay updated, comment, like and subscribe to our UATV English channel for more news from Ukraine. It is your support that really matters for us. Remember that. Goodbye.